Oh my god, OmniGen is a game changer, but you are using it wrong. Hello humans, my name is K, your Overload, and oh boy, OmniGen is just insane. It is a unified AI image tool that can use everything from ControlNet, face detection, or even direct image editing using simple prompts, and all of that inside one simple web UI. Now, for some of you watching this video right now, you might be like, wait a minute, didn't I just see this video like a week ago? And you might be technically right, because actually my previous video on the subject was completely deleted and censored by YouTube. And that is because I showed that OmniGen can do more than just what it is advertised for. If you want to know more about what exactly happened, you can go on my Patreon page and read my Patreon post about this. And apparently, even talking about this, or even just suggesting that you can do this without showing anything on the screen, is enough for the big red eye of doom to consider that this video is dangerous. Which is why I'm remaking this video in a more family-friendly way so that you can all feel safe. Now, if you want to see that version of the video, you can either go to my Twitter or go on my Patreon post for the link for that video. I'm not even gonna put a direct link to this video right here, just in case they decide that this is way too much. So yeah, I mean, we are really swimming in a pool of insanity right here. But for those of you who have never seen that video, don't worry, most of the content will be present in this video right here. So yeah, there you go. Now, speaking of OmniGen, people do not understand that they are missing out on some insane potential here, because OmniGen becomes really powerful only when it is combined with my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow. But don't worry, I'm gonna show you all of that and more in this video. So that being said, sit back, relax, and let's go. Okay, and to install OmniGen, you have two ways. The first is of course by using the one-click installer that is available for my Patreon supporters. Just double-click on the installer, and everything will be done automatically. And next time you want to launch OmniGen, just double click on the launcher.bat file, which will give you a local URL, and if you hold Ctrl and left click, it will open OmniGen in a new browser window, ready to be used. Simple as that. You don't need to do anything. And the second way to install this is of course the manual way. So first make sure that you have Python 3.10.11 installed, as well as Git for Windows. So then next, in a new folder, you're gonna click on the folder path, type cmd, press enter, which will bring the command prompt window, where inside you're gonna clone the GitHub repository, then go inside the OmniGen folder, then here we're gonna create a new Python environment, then activate the environment, then we're gonna start installing all the Python packages, first with the command pip install -e dot, so the next you're gonna install Torch and Torch Vision with this command, so the next you're gonna type pip install Gradio spaces, then you're gonna type pip install r/requirements.txt, and then finally, once everything is installed, you're gonna type python app.py, which in the end should give you a local URL that if you press Ctrl then left click, will open the OmniGen web UI in your browser window. And now we can finally have some fun. Okay, so what makes OmniGen so special? And why are people using it wrong? Well, first of all, as I said, OmniGen is an all-in-one tool that allows you to generate images from simple text prompt, like Stable Diffusion for example, but it also allows you to use images as sources for creating other images. So if you actually scroll down, you will see a bunch of different examples of that. Like for example, if you choose the first one, where here you input an image of this woman, and then you write in the prompt, the woman in image 1 waves her hand happily in the crowd. And if you press generate, which in the end gives us an image like this. As you can see, it basically used the likeness of this woman to create a brand new image, using the prompt that you wrote right here. Exactly as if this was Instant ID, or the purely tool that I showed you in my previous video. But once again, this is really just the tip of the iceberg, because OmniGen can do way more than that. Like one of the things that OmniGen can do, for example, is taking information from different images and putting them back together. So like for example, if you put two different images of like 5 different people here, and in your prompt you say a man and a woman are sitting at a classroom desk, the man is the man in yellow hair in image 1, and the woman is the woman on the left on image 2. And as you can see, OmniGen read your prompt, read the two images, identified all the different people in the picture to then create a brand new picture following your prompt. I mean, this is really just insane. And it did all of that automatically. No need for ControlNet, no need for Instant ID or regional prompting. Everything is done automatically. And OmniGen can also combine very very smartly 2 different images to create a third one. So like for example, if you put an image of some blue flowers and an image of some vase, and then you put in your prompt, the flower in image 1 is placed in the vase, which is in the middle of image 2 on a wooden table of a living room. And as you can see, it took the blue flowers and then put them inside the vase in the middle, which was this turquoise vase right here, to create this image on the right. I mean, this is really just insane. And I see a lot of potential in the future for maybe e-commerce stores or brands that want to create new pictures of their product using AI. And as I said, one thing that OmniGen can also do is use ControlNet naturally. So if you input an image and then put in the prompt, detect the skeleton of human in this image, and then put image 1 right here, and just like the OpenPose ControlNet, will create this OpenPose ControlNet image that you can then use as an image, and then create a brand new image from that OpenPose skeleton, which is really just super impressive. But one thing that I like the most about OmniGen is its ability to edit an image by just following your prompt. So like for example here, if we input an image of this woman, and then in the prompt you put something like remove the woman's earrings, replace the mug with clear glass filled with sparkling ice cola. And as you can see on the right, it did exactly that. It automatically removed the earrings and replaced the blue mug with a glass of cola. And it did all of that automatically. You did not have to do anything except wait for the image to be generated. Like this is the before and this is the after. All of that done with a simple prompt. Really super impressive. Now here's the thing. What you see here is actually okay. Like the quality of the generation is okay, but it's really not that great. Like it's not perfect. And this is what I was saying in the beginning of the video when people are not using OmniGen correctly. Because one of the two problems with OmniGen is that first, it is very slow, since it takes like 2 minutes per images, even with a powerful GPU like mine, while using a lot of VRAM, but also the quality of the final generation are not that good. I mean, they're not bad, they're not terrible, but compared to something like Flux, the quality is definitely not as good. And this is where my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow version 2 enters into action. Because this is actually the real secret here. The secret here is to use OmniGen to create the final image that you want, and then use my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow version 2 to refine it even further. And once again, if you don't know what my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow version 2 is, you should definitely watch my latest video that I made like a week ago, where I talk about all the newest addition to this Flux workflow, like face swaps, putted, outpainting, and even image to video. So like for example, let's say that you have made this image after automatically removing the earrings and replacing the mug with a glass of cola. All you have to do is just take that image, then go inside the image to image workflow, activate it, paste that image right here. We are also actually gonna use the image to prompt for the automatic prompting because I don't want to type it myself because I'm lazy. So there we go, we have our automatic prompt right here. So I'm gonna copy this, then come back, reactivate this workflow, put the prompt right here, then maybe change the denoising strength to something like 0.4, press OK. And now if I press Q, which in the end gives us something like this. A way more refined and way more beautiful image compared to the previous one. Like for example, like this is the before and this is the after. As you can see, this image is now a little bit more coherent with way more details compared to the first version. And if you want to upscale it even further and add even more details, you can take the image and put it inside the upscaler, then press Q, which can give us something like this. An image with even more details, even sharper compared to the previous images. So once again, we started with this, an okay image with maybe a little bit blurry, missing on a lot of details. Then we refined it using Flux, and then we upscaled it even further using the Flux upscaler. And this is really where the real OmniGen workflow combined with Flux actually begins. So like for example, if you remember our previous image that we generated before with those two people sitting in a classroom desk, this is the image that was generated. It looks okay, but maybe missing on some details in the faces, on the hands and stuff like that. So if you download this image, then once again use the auto prompter to create our prompt from scratch so that we don't have to type it ourselves. Then we're gonna go into the image to image, put our prompt right here, select our image, choose the low density strength, and then press Q, which once again, in the end, made our image way better with a lot more details. Like this is the before and this is the after. And you can then of course use the upscaler and do the same thing to get an even sharper image. But yeah, this is really where the real workflow starts. This is really where OmniGen becomes so much more interesting, where you can basically start with OmniGen to create your base image, and once you're happy with the composition, you can then use my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow version 2 to refine the image even further so that the final image looks much better. And if you don't want to modify an entire image, but only part of it, well, you can do that too, because in this case, instead of using the image to image workflow, we're gonna be using the inpainting workflow, and we're only gonna inpaint the areas that we want to change. So like for example, if I activate this workflow, then I load my image. Let's choose the image that we modified with OmniGen previously. Then I'm gonna right click on the node, open in mask editor. Then I'm gonna mask the area that I want to change. Let's say that for example, I want to change the entire face and the hair. So I'm gonna mask this entire area right here. Then once it's done, I'm gonna click save to node, and as you can see here we have drawn our mask. And here actually, instead of simply inputting a prompt, which is something that of course you can do, you can also instead load a LoRa at the same time, which really opens up the possibilities for this technique. So like for I press Q, we get something like this, a pixel art style drawing of that woman's face and hair, which looks very original. It looks actually really good, and it makes like this very original drawing mixed with reality, which looks very cool. Like for example, this is the before and this is the after. And you can of course do this with a bunch of different LoRa's, a bunch of different styles, to create some absolutely amazing images and create like this new merge style between artistic vision and reality that looks really cool. And yeah, I mean, as I said, this is really where OmniGen really shines, and why so many people are using this wrong, because they consider that this final result that you can see right here is the final working image, when in reality this should just be a base image that you can use for further refining. And a tool like this that allows you to basically remove any object that you want with a single prompt definitely requires your full attention, because this opens a lot of possibilities for the types of images that you want to generate. So nowadays you don't need to know Photoshop to be able to generate some absolutely incredible images. No more photoshopping for photo bashing or merging images manually. You can do everything inside OmniGen and then use my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow to make it even better. Once again, if you haven't seen that video, the link for it will be in the description down below. I highly recommend that you watch it, because this video and workflow took me a very long time to make and prepare. Because, I mean, geez, look at the final results. This definitely is completely worth it. But even if you don't have a powerful GPU, you can always rent a new GPU for a few cents an hour on a website like RunPod and use it as if this was running on your local computer. So if you don't have a RunPod account, you can click the link in the description down below and then create a new account. Then you're gonna click on Pods and click Deploy. Then here, to save a bit of money, instead of Secure Cloud, you're gonna choose Community Cloud and then filter by extreme internet speed. Then you're gonna scroll down and choose at least a 24GB VRAM GPU, like a A30 or a 3090, which one is available for you. Then you're gonna select it, click Change Template, and make sure that you're using the RunPod PyTorch 2.1, so just select it, then click Edit Template, and change the container disk from 20GB to something like 80, and volume disk as well. Then click Set Overrides, scroll down, and then click Deploy on Demand. So then in my pods, you're gonna click on this little icon, then click connect, and then connect to Jupyter Lab. So then here, if you are one of my Patreon supporters, this will be very easy for you, because I made a one-click installer for RunPod. So all you have to do is just take that file, then drag and drop it into the workspace, then click on this little icon, and then you're gonna copy and paste these two lines that you will find in the Patreon post, and then press enter. And this will install everything it needs for OmniGen to run. And once everything is done, it will give you a public URL that, if you click on it, will open the OmniGen web UI. And you can use this as if this was running on your local computer. Simple as that. And if you want to do the manual installation, it's gonna be the exact same thing as we did when we installed it locally, with pretty much the exact same commands, except for the last command, where instead of putting python app.py, you're gonna add the -- share argument at the end of the command, which will give you the public URL. So yeah, there you go. This was OmniGen, an absolutely amazing unified AI image tool that allows you to generate some very cool images by either using multiple images to create a new one, or automatically editing an image following a simple prompt. Image that you can then use inside my ultimate all-in-one Flux workflow to make it even better. So yeah, this is some incredible stuff. So definitely grab my workflow on Patreon and use it for any generation that you want. Also, do not forget that I provide priority support for my Patreon supporters, so if you have any issues whatsoever, do not hesitate to send me a DM and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. So yeah, that being said, definitely try this out yourself and have some fun. And there we have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you also so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my videos. You guys are absolutely awesome. You people are the reason why I'm able to make these videos, so thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.